like, you know, we're not dating. I've got my own life. You've got your life. Like, there's always going to be a healthy boundary there.
We do tend to, I think, bicker maybe like a married couple or siblings, and you know, it's a different dynamic, but I don't think it's unhealthy.
Because, like, I don't need to make things up to be interesting.
Right.
You know, like, I'm not interested. I don't need to impress strangers with fake stories. Like, that's not my MO.
You know, we had mobsters and tigers and strippers and all sorts of things that other normal people just don't have in their life.
People usually just assume I'm lying or at least embellishing.
I think every family should do a podcast together and talk about all of their trashy stories.
Welcome to another episode of the SOB podcast, The Son of a Bitch. I am the bitch, Shannon Livingston.
And I'm the son.
And your name is?
My name's Joe. How we all doing today? We don't have a live audience.
I know it's been, well, I'm fine. I know it's been a while since we've been in the studio, but I thought maybe you wouldn't botch the intro this time.
You got to keep traditions.
It's your deliberate thing at this point, huh?
Well, if you explain it, then it's not funny. So let's just keep moving. What are we talking about today?
I'm not a good straight man for you.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I can see
I'm
that.
oblivious to the joke most of the time.
I know.
So we have a lot to talk about on this episode. It is something that I didn't even know was going to be an episode until we had a friend over for dinner. And we were discussing this particular topic. And she said, this needs to be an SOB episode. So today we are going to talk about the importance of having a fake nemesis.
And whether or not it actually is that important. Is that something that's necessary?
Oh, did I frame that whole episode with my opinion? So we're going to talk about the fake
that neurotic
nemesis.
people do. We'll dive into all of it.
Is that already like shade? Are you throwing shade on me?
I didn't say that.
Me? I don't know which preposition is proper with
you don't
that
know
slang.
how to talk young people anymore.
No, I'm an old white lady and it shows. But oh well. But I look better than most women my age, I think. Holding it together.
I'm not a good barometer for.
You're supposed to think that your mother is a beautiful woman all the time. You're supposed to like always build me up. That's the unhealthy emotional dynamic I've been trying to get out of you for years, and you keep wanting to have healthy boundaries.
No desire to inflate your ego. That is a bad idea.
All right, so we'll just get back to the topic.
All right.
So I have notes because my brain does go off on different tangents.
Sure.
We have some bullet points, and it's funny because I do my notes, you do your notes, and then when I look at them, they're almost exactly the same. So you have my brilliant brain and my good looks. You are welcome.
Take credit for everything.
So all of this is stuff that I've done. Joe has contributed nothing, but I have let him in the studio.
We were just discussing that before the mics turned on.
No, you're doing a much better job with the show prep. I do appreciate it.
Yeah.
I just like to needle you a little bit
understand.
You know, you're tough enough to take it.
Mm.
You're one of the few people that tells me to go fuck myself with love and respect and feels comfortable doing that. So I think I do give you a harder time than most people just because of that. Because you know that, you know, I do have respect for you as a person. I have to throw that in every once in a while because people are like, dang, like she's so mean to him. Like, did she give birth to him? Is that really her child? But hamsters eat their children. So at least I'm better than a hamster. Did you know that? They'll eat their little babies?
Yes, I did.
I shouldn't have asked you an animal fact.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the fake nemesis.
Right.
So I didn't really think about this too much until about a year or two ago. I had this episode with a local woman who we are not really friends. We're just more acquaintances. And she kind of created this tension between us.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would talk to you about it because at first it was confusing. And then I, you know, kind of saw the pattern of behavior. And I thought, you know, why does she have to create this drama? Like, does life not hand you enough? But then it became such a joke. And I started calling her my fake nemesis, my fake enemy, my fake nemesis, because she had created drama. But then it really turned into me kind of using it as a joke to make myself better at things.
Mm-hmm.
So, anytime she and I were doing similar things in my head, and I, of course, separated, I'm not completely insane, but in my head, or to you, I would say, oh, my fake nemesis is going to be there. I better wear something really nice, or
yeah, that's right.
whatever it was. But it makes you aware of these tools that we use and that there's value in a fake nemesis. And so when I started really saying that to you, you of course brought up sports stuff, which I don't give a shit about, but
Well,
it's valid.
But yeah, this is something that anybody who knows anything about Michael Jordan and his pathology, what kept him motivated,
And Kobe Bryant.
Who took most of his cues from watching Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
He copied a lot
He
of
was
the same
fueled by
stuff.
rage
It's the same
and
type of thing.
spite.
Kobe?
Yeah.
Eh,
He was not
I don't know
a
about
come
rage.
give me a hug person.
No, but Jordan was
You think
by
Jordan
all
was
means
worse?
more confrontational. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was the opposite.
No.
See, I don't know anything about sports.
These are people. It's not just, dude. Michael Jordan transcended sports. He's one of the little kids living in huts in Africa know who Michael Jordan is.
Yeah, they're not wearing his shoes.
Yeah, they know who Kobe is too at this point. Anyway, this is something that he really used to keep himself motivated. He would sometimes completely invent these rivalries with different people, around the league that he interacted with, these perceived slights that he had, whether that was in the game or, the handshake or going out to dinner, like all these different little things that just sat in his mind.
That some people just internalize because they're overthinkers and insecure.
Yeah.
But he was able to, just like I was with this fake nemesis that I had, he was able to know that it's fake, know that you're creating tension. Well, if you're a good liar, you start to believe.
Well, absolutely.
Right?
But yeah, like there have been interviews since then where he talks about these people and then they'll put the other person on and they're like, I don't know what he's talking about. I don't remember that happening, but
right. But
yeah,
it was useful.
Absolutely.
And so it doesn't always have to be based on something like real. It just has to be a slight or a perceived slight. So after my first fake nemesis kind of lost her luster because we weren't competing anymore in the same arenas, really. She and I both started to do different things, and so that's not entertaining to me. I have to have somebody entertaining. So now I have a friend of mine, and he has no idea that he is my fake nemesis.
His name is Squid.
Oh, well, thanks. Now I'm going to have to send it to him. Now you've outed me. But I was saying to you last night, should I share his name or not? Because we always change people's names if they're alive.
That's why I changed his name.
But part of the power of having a fake nemesis is that they don't know that if you tell them, I think
the whole thing's ruined.
It takes away the power. Right. So now I need a third fake nemesis. Thank you so much.
He's not going to know who you're talking about.
So this one kind of presented himself to me when we were at an event that I had organized, and he stood up at the event and, kind of like made a speech like it was his event. And I thought, that's some bullshit I would have done. Like that. So we are like very similar. And I know that he did not do it to steal a limelight or compete with me in any way or anything like that. Like he doesn't have that in him. He's always been very supportive of me, in whatever industry and in life, and just very open. And so it wasn't anything that he did. It was just that opportunity to perceive that slight that could fuel me, because he and I are doing similar things, not really competing so much, but doing similar things, maybe competing for attention a little bit. And then when he left the event, I said, "Oh, did you cover that thing that I couldn't cover tomorrow?" And he said, "Oh, yeah, I did," which was absolutely a bitchy thing to say. Like there was no reason for me to say that, to let him know that they had asked me first, right? That's why I said it. So, I have to be aware that, okay, that's petty. And why am I doing that? Right? It's competition. And I have to channel that into something healthy, like calling him my fake nemesis, knowing that that's what I'm doing, yet still respecting the guy for being a decent human being and being a good friend to me. Do you think other people do that? Do they compartmentalize it like that?
I think some people do. I wouldn't say that the majority have that going on. I think most people are far more concerned with themselves than, they use other simpler things to motivate them. I don't think there's a lot of
They don't create a whole enemy.
that going on. Well, some people do, but a lot those people are in prison, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But
In another episode.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, sometimes I talk to people where it seems like they have that, but sometimes to them, I don't think everyone thinks it through to that extent. I think some people are just paranoid, and they
think
that,
other people are out to get them or keep them down.
Yeah, that's not what we're talking about.
So why do you think? Because you always tell me I think differently. Why do you think I do not look at competition like other people? Like I compete with myself. I'm always trying to learn and get better.
Because you're used to winning.
I don't think that's it.
That's part of it.
That I'm used to. So I don't think that I truly have. It's not an egotistical thing. Like I'm better than others.
I recognize that, but when you lose over and over and over again, and I'm not just talking about life. I mean, in things where you're pitted against other people with your, skill set, merit, show quality, whatever. And you're constantly just reminded that you're not that good at it, then eventually that's going to hit your psyche. That hasn't happened to you.
What do you mean that hasn't happened to me? Life has taken me down many times.
Like I said, yes, like it does to everyone. But in terms of like just accomplishing whatever task is in front of you, you rarely don't come out on top.
Because I'm fucking relentless. Okay, I'm tenacious.
Right,
I make it work.
Yeah,
I'm creative.
That is not
resourceful.
That is not normal.
That's not normal.
No.
To see a problem and
everyone
want to solve
would be a superstar if they were.
Are you calling me a superstar?
Function that way. That is not what I said.
I think that was the TikTok takeout moment right there.
You don't.
I'm going to sign up for TikTok.
Don't
just
act
to
like
put that
you
on
understand
there.
TikTok. I don't even. I'm even too old for TikTok.
Oh my God, I'm trying to understand Instagram.
Yeah,
I don't have time for TikTok.
So
you think that other people just get beaten down?
Yes.
But I somehow you think have had a privileged life that I don't deserve, and therefore I'm arrogant, and I don't think I have competition. That's your theory?
To an extent.
All right, I asked you, so I guess you have the right to answer. I disagree, of course. I just think that I have always really been more concerned with who I am and my development. Am I learning? Am I getting more emotionally in control and peaceful?
Okay, yeah. Well, maybe not privileged, but you're not as easily rattled.
I've had real problems. I think I think it's the opposite of kind of what you were implying. It's that I have had real trauma, real problems.
Yeah.
And so when people tell me no on something, something small, they don't want to donate to my fundraiser, they don't want to work with me on a project, whatever it is, I really don't hear that.
No, that's right.
I'm just going to barrel through and get whatever it is done that I need to accomplish.
Yeah, see, that is not how most people function.
But I'm also used to doing that on my own.
Yeah.
So if other people tell me no, that doesn't change what I'm going to do because I was going to do it without them anyway.
Well, that's another thing. Most people are far too dependent on, the people around them for support, approval.
But
whatever.
Isn't it interesting? Because in another episode, we're going to talk about dating rich and powerful men. Not you, me.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah, putting that clarification out there. It's so interesting that I do have this dichotomy in me that I can control so much and yet give control to the wrong people at the same time.
I think one kind of complements the other. Maybe not complements, but it's not a surprise.
Well,
that,
everybody's a walking contradiction. I think I may have more.
It's a Green Day song.
Walking contradiction. It's a fairly common phrase.
So, would you say that having a fake nemesis is healthy?
It's healthy for me. Oh, there goes my voice. It's healthy for me because I know what it is. I think if you can separate it from reality, if you that is not your enemy, that person is not trying to hurt you or take you down, having any animosity toward that person is not truly logical or whatever. So for me, if I can have a fake nemesis and use that in a healthy way. I don't think I can have a real nemesis in a healthy way. I'm just going to take that motherfucker down. That's my answer.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Does that sound like the person that you've known for years?
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very, I'm damaged and protective. And so if somebody truly is my enemy, they're not going to be my enemy for long. I'm just going to remove myself from the situation or neutralize the threat in whatever way. So for me, it has to be a fake nemesis, I think, to have that healthy boundary and keep me out of prison.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. So do you have a fake nemesis right now?
Kind of. We discussed it a little bit.
But now we're doing a show. So if you're not aware, when I ask you questions on the show, that is an opportunity for you to share, not just say, oh, yeah, or oh, no. And I talked about it.
I thought I was just going to bring up things that no one else knows about and just keep going in my conversation, as you often do.
I don't know what that means. So just get back on
topic. It's like when
topic.
you say somebody's name and I say, they don't know who that is. And
how are you going to learn if you don't ever hear it? No new knowledge can come to you because your brain is done.
I think they brought that up in one of those commercials where they're like, you're becoming your parents. Anyway.
You should be so lucky.
Uh-huh.
You're going to have to buy some boobs and extensions first. But
yeah, no, I'll look at mine.
So do you have a fake nemesis?
I do. Yeah. We'll call her Tristan.
Mm-hmm.
And we had an incident quite a while ago. We're going on like 8 or 9 years. Where I was
12, I think.
12. I wasn't.
Yeah, it's been like
15.
11. Well,
I was older than that.
No, I don't think so. I think you were.
No.
You were 16, maybe.
I was a little
You're
bit older.
almost 28.
I was a little bit older than that.
Anyway.
So.
It was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
Too long for you to still be upset about a minor incident is the point.
I disagree. It was a long time ago. It was New Year's Eve.
Mm-hmm.
I was helping out a friend, which I will never do again, at least in that context.
That just burned you out for helpfulness your whole life.
Burned me out for working in restaurants. That's for damn sure. So they needed an extra busboy. I had no experience whatsoever, but I was a warm body and they needed help. So I came in and worked for like 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a very small building. There was a lot going on. Half the people there didn't speak English, so that was fun.
Well, not only did they not speak English, they didn't speak the same languages as each other.
Yeah, so
there was a lot of
dishwasher
cultural difference going on.
The dishwasher was Cuban and didn't speak English. And the chef was Italian and didn't speak English.
Mm-hmm.
So they could kind of talk to each other because those are similar languages, but they definitely couldn't talk to me.
Anywho,
there was an incident where Tristan dropped her fork and I bent down to pick it up, and I guess I put I don't remember because it was, dark and loud and I wasn't paying attention to what
tangent
was going
come on.
I guess I put my bus tub on the table, and she was so traumatized by this that she continued to bring it up more than a week later at some sort of sit down.
She brought it up one time
the thing was.
To a person that happened to be my best friend
yeah.
at a meeting, at a business meeting. And I was also attending that meeting. I just hadn't walked in yet. And so she was very quickly corrected. She was told that she was talking about my son.
And then she turned right around.
She knew that was problematic, to say the least. And so, yeah, she did. She apologized and talked about how great it was that you were working and trying. And
yeah, I mean, so this is someone
but you have not been able to let it go.
I will never let that go.
So I have continued my friendship with this woman. Much to your dismay, every time I say I'm going out with her.
Hold on. Now, this is someone, who I have interacted with since.
And she's a nice person.
She's never given me any other problems.
So she's your fake nemesis.
Nice person.
Right.
Yeah. So, is it something? yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna, give her a kidney, but am I going to push her into traffic? No.
Lovely.
But I do feel like it's something that kind of keeps me on my game to some extent of, I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to,
I'm going to be the best
perform.
damn
Yeah,
busser
right. I know what
that
I'm
you've
doing.
ever seen. And you've never busted a table since then.
Hell no. And I have no desire
So I don't know
to.
what the hell you think you're showing her. You're showing her that she won. Your nemesis is winning. I don't think that's how it's supposed to work.
If something like that,
Her
troubles
ass is
you
on
that
billboards.
much,
What are you doing?
your life's going to be tough.
Her life is not tough. She's very in control, I promise you.
Yeah, well, everybody's got problems. Anyway, that is the main
That's your main fake
fake
nemesis?
nemesis, I would say at this point, because I don't really, I'd find
You're not fueled by anger
other
like I
ways
am.
to motivate myself. Well, I've seen people who are, and it gets old. It's very taxing.
But I mean, really, I say that jokingly, but when I was younger, I certainly was fueled by
Sure.
anger and, rage, resentment. I had a lot of people that, didn't treat me well and a lot of bad experiences. And so I think I needed that for a while. But then once you get over that survival and hopefully you evolve and you're able to enjoy life and have a little more joy than rage, you're able to compartmentalize it. That it does still have value to me and it is comfortable for me, but I need to push that into the fake nemesis box so that that's healthy and I'm not just, tearing people apart.
Well, I mean, I certainly can be fueled by anger. I've just managed to not put myself in situations that have the potential to make me angry over the past few years. But like for someone that I don't have a lot of, stock in or a deep relationship with to get me to that point, they really have to be trying to piss me off.
Yeah, I'm pretty good walking away from just about anyone. I love being alone. I have my family. I have lifelong friends. So I don't tolerate the nonsense anymore.
These people who fly off the handle about someone they barely know or, just disagreeing with somebody.
I like the conflict though. Like I don't like the drama. So I'm not going to talk about them behind their back and keep it going or whatever. But will I say something to them before I walk away forever? Yeah, that's still, I'm petty
pathological.
enough. I'm petty like that. I feel like, that's my strength is words and my sarcastic
you're petty
tongue.
like
And
that
so
because you don't often experience the consequences that other people would.
Because I'm a woman and nobody punches me in the mouth, right?
Well,
is that what you're saying?
Part of it. Yeah, that's not the whole.
I've been punched, by the way.
Yeah, I'm
punched back, but I've been punched.
What, you mean like that girl who called you old on your birthday?
Oh no, she didn't punch me. I think she threw a flip-flop at me and an ashtray. I know. And I was only 40. That's why you don't leave Naples, because once you get to, that county line, once you're in Fort Myers, the real young people look at you and call you out. Yeah,
that's true.
I mean, I'm a baby here in Collier, but I go up to Lee and they're like, no, old bitch, go back home. Yeah.
Sometimes it's worth saying something. Sometimes it's a better idea to just turn the other cheek and walk away.
It's almost always a better idea not to say anything. And it is something that I've gotten better, right? Much better. I mean, I used to pull people over in their cars.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? And like teach them how to use their turn signal. So I've gotten better.
Do
you remember that?
This is right.
Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
I bet she remembers how to use those fucking turn signals now, huh? All right, I think that's a good place to wrap up this. I think this was a good episode. I'm glad that Melissa suggested it. Like I said, I didn't even know that it would be something that other people would find that interesting. It's just something that we were discussing at dinner. But after she mentioned it, it is valuable for people to kind of stop and look at your relationships. And are you making more of it than it is? Are you not using it properly? Are you internalizing stuff and hurting your own feelings? What are you doing in there in your brain?
The thing about it is just to manage to not turn it into something too personal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because if you get too much emotion involved, then that's not a fake nemesis anymore, and you're just holding a grudge, and that's
Now you're just a bitter human being.
Be an adult, move on.
Yeah, and life is short. Nobody has power over you. It's all you. It's you and what you're telling yourself. And so, if you're going to create that world, create a good one, right?
If you
Create
drop
one
a
with
fork,
happiness.
pick it up yourself.
Poor Tristan. I'm going to send this episode to her. She'll get a kick out of it. You outed me with my fake nemesis.
Squid.
That is not even a good fake name. He's going to know who it is.
It's funny.
God, you're such a brat.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you for listening.
Peace and love.